Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan. Timing pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Happy New Year!
First full show of the year, although yesterday was fantastic. First full show of the Braylon Edwards Show of the year. Braylon not here today. We'll be back next week. Cam is with us. Kool-Aid is with us. Anson back in the chair as well. Glad you're with us, and we invite you to just pound that like button and jump us in the chat for sure. Hope everybody had a really good time yesterday and a safe time yesterday. We did Kool-Aid and Broder were just fantastic yesterday.
Appreciate you, brother.
You guys were fantastic too.
Well,
all of the hosts calling in. That show was so cool.
awesome.
Listen, everybody that's watching right now, go in there, find this show yesterday, Year in Review 2025, 3 hours of just pure awesomeness.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's about, pumping each other's tires. It's about having good content, and I thought the content was real, and I think the content was all about who we are here at this network, and that is friends, but also a willingness to debate one another on a lot of different topics. So
And a
I really enjoyed
willingness
it.
to be there. Like, we asked every single host here, do you got time on New Year's Day? Not one person said no.
Yeah, very very cool. But for those three guys, Justin as well, to come in on
out
New
Justin,
Year's Day, I know people are probably like, oh, they get paid. Well, listen, sometimes your time is pretty precious. When you have time for yourself and time for your family, it can be pretty precious. So I just want to salute those guys for what they did yesterday. Make it entertaining. Anybody can come in and sit behind a microphone and just start to talk. The key is making it entertaining, but making it informational too. And that came across. If you watched any of it, and I would, like Anson said, I would invite you to go back and check it out. You will definitely feel that. So again, thank you to everybody. And same with Broder, man. I haven't had a chance to work with him. I hope I do get a chance to work with him one day.
I need to be a fly on the
fun.
wall for that baseball conversation
Yeah.
between you two. Big time, man. Big time.
It would be very fun. Yeah. So again, as I said yesterday or the other day, we're not labeled here. We all have our passions. My hope is that we all have the passion about all the sports, not just one. Yeah. You don't want to get labeled. You don't want to get pigeonholed. It's not how you move forward.
Hey, you know what? I've appreciated learning that from, I'm going to call you that, legend, even if you don't want me to, man. Shep has brought a lot, like a lot of other guys, man. T. Foss and some of the others, Sean Baligian, who've been in this game a long time and done it the right way. So shout out to you, man. Thank you for those words. And Broder, no longer a rising star in my books, man, just a star.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. I love how he sets things up. Yeah, he should be doing a lot more, and I'm glad that he was able to do that with you yesterday. I thought you guys asked some really interesting questions that led to conversation. It's not easy setting things up that way, number one, but number two, I think some of the easiest things to do is to ask a question. The hard thing to do is ask a damn good question. Yeah. And there's not many people in the media who do that anymore. Lost, I believe, are good interviews, like good, strong, influential interviews. What are you learning from somebody? And yesterday, I thought there was a lot of that.
Sometimes, man, the people you could be around, they put that pressure on you. I know at Media Day, I asked a really good question. I would happen to say, I even had people hitting me up saying, hey, bro, that was a really good question. What they didn't know is who was sitting right behind me. It was my guy Shep, man.
Yeah?
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
I want people to ask
Had to
questions I've
represent.
never heard.
Yeah, we did. We asked a couple of good ones, I think, to
He was
to
cooking, man.
Trajan
Yeah.
Lennon. And when a coach or a player, their response will tell you all you really need to know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? If you're asking the goofy, what's it? What? Come on, man. I mean, can we go a little bit deeper? Can we actually do something? Okay, can we ask something that other people outside who aren't in that building get an opportunity to listen to and go, yes, that's what I want to hear.
It seems like 60% of the questions that are lobbed at athletes and entertainers these days are eliciting eye rolls.
Yes.
If you get them engaged, we're like, what's the hip hop guy, the white boy that goes and he's got the most cut.
White boy.
Yeah, deep cut, like most obscure facts about hip hop artists, and he'll ask them, and they just are like, they get almost upset, and they're like, how the hell did you know that?
Golly.
How the hell did you know that? He's a legend, but that's what you want, man. You want to dig deep, and you want to figure out, something that none of us have ever heard before. I do got to hit these super chats real quick because everybody in the chat is talking about how much they loved the show yesterday.
That's really cool.
LaBartney, who already hit us with $100 for all the shows, because he said he couldn't be here, but here he is again, dropping another $20.
Man, what a great dude, man.
Shout out to the 2025 recap yesterday. That was fire. And he also told us that he's got another surprise for the staff when we get 600 more subscriptions to our YouTube, which puts us at 100K, and we do get that first big milestone plaque from YouTube. So please, not only hit that like button right now for us,
Fired up.
Share this stream. It's you guys that got us to 99.4.
Right.
It's you guys that's going to get us over the 100K mark. Rando Smalls with a $5 super chat. We need to do something special for little Broder that's coming. Yeah, that's early February. You guys discussed that, so he will be a father very soon. And then Chandler Miller, 99.48, $5 super chat. Most important question to ask: when is Woodward going to start an MSU show? Well, I have some good news for you. We will have 2 remote events.
Oh, great.
For both Michigan State college basketball games, because they are both looking elite. Should be a great time. And hey, I feel you.
I like that.
But Spartans got to start winning on the football field a little bit as well, so we can start talking about them. But as we get closer to March, it will be MSU, U of M, college basketball ad nauseum.
Yeah, we're really fortunate because both teams so very good.
Man.
I would argue right now, I think Michigan's the best team in the country.
They are frightening.
I would also say, though, that Michigan State, with their toughness, the Jackson Kohler double-doubles, the Jeremy Fears ability to find guys in the right spots, and Cohen Carr's highlight reel, and I think he's more than just a highlight reel jam kind of guy. And I hope
this year.
I hope we're not just watching Sports Center, even though that's difficult to watch these days. I hope you're not just watching that and saying, this guy's a high flyer, look at what he can do, what great dunks.
His game's grown a lot.
He's grown as a player.
For real.
I think that's really important for us to keep that in mind, and I hope people do. Speaking of football, by the way, so the Lions play on Sunday in Chicago, as we all know. I still don't understand why it's a 4:30 game, but whatever. Do you want them to win? Do you want them to win? Do you want the Detroit Lions to beat the Bears on Sunday?
I was waiting for Kool-Aid's quick answer on that one. You want to go first? You want me to?
Yeah, I want them to win. I like seeing the Lions win.
Hell yeah, you do.
Them win, man. I do. Especially with how tough 2025 was.
Why wouldn't you want them to win? Let's put it that way.
I've heard some people that say that there's nothing left to play for, but with me, it comes with a caveat. The reason why I hesitate is because I do believe you have to play those starters, which I've actually been against. Like I'm like, no unnecessary injuries. But the closer we get to it, I've seen that shirtless Ben Johnson highlight several times for whatever reason over the last couple days. He just pops up on the feed. Now I'm just back to, you know what? I really want to beat the Bears, especially when you look at how 2025 started and ended. I actually just want to start 2026 off on a winning note, man. I thought about that too. So, I don't know. I listen to Jared Goff, listen to Amon-Ra. They say they want to win. This is what they are. They want to play. And I always like seeing the Detroit Lions win. And if they can beat the Bears as well, get a little FTB action going on, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. But I worry about the injuries, man.
Yeah, you asked.
Oh my God! I mean, do you worry about the injuries every regular season game?
It was because Penei Sewell didn't go down that week before.
He's not going to play.
I know he's not going to play, but then that's where I start to think about, dang, who else could this happen to? But I think my desire to see the Lions win is kind of outweighing that right
So if he's not going to play, Why in the world would you play Jared Goff? Your best offensive lineman's not going
There
to
goes
in all
Shep.
likelihood. Okay, that hasn't been announced. So that's just my feeling. I don't think he's going to play. Why would you play your starting quarterback? Now, I'm just asking. I'm not saying I would or wouldn't. I want them to win. I don't think, is it fair to say you're not a fan if you do want them to win? Maybe somebody's looking for 2026, okay? So I had a buddy of mine text me, or actually we talked to each other yesterday, wished each other Happy New Year, and he said, yeah, I don't want them to win. And I said, why? He said, for draft positioning. Okay. How much can they go up? How much can they go down? Who is it that you've targeted at 15 or 16 that you don't feel you're going to get the equivalent
I didn't
at
even
13
consider
or
that,
12?
honestly.
Well, now, Shep, remember,
Go.
there's a lot of years as Lion fans where we went out and we won that last game. Now, those were like 5 and 11
Yeah,
teams back in
that
the
was what we were
day, and it
scraping
cost us,
for.
we could have picked 4, now we're picking 11. So there's that, there's that trauma in Detroit Lion fan mind. But you asked the important question, why wouldn't you want to win this game? There's one realistic reason, and there's one delusional reason. One, your buddy said it. It's for the draft positioning. And we don't know how things are going to finish. A win might only change one spot, but it could change 6 or 7. The delusional,
It could change 6 or 7?
I don't know. I'm just saying most years sometimes a win can only, change you one spot. Sometimes it can lift you up 6 spots. You'd have to double check me on that, fact check me on that, but I'm sure that it could sway probably a good 3 positions in the draft. But the other one is the unrealistic, the delusional take for why you would want them to lose is because of the Brad and Dan haters that want this team to be further exposed. The Jared Goff traders, this guy's not good enough, get rid of Monty because he liked the tweeters, those type of people. So for me, it comes down to Rando Small's $2 super chat. We play the game to win, period. And let's be honest, man, this is old hat for Lions fans. We're used to going into the last game, not making the playoffs, with nothing to play for, with one half of us saying we should lose and the other half of us having the pride of a Lion saying we want to win. For me, the answer is easy, Shep. I want a 4 straight winning season.
Oh, good. Okay. So surprise me a little bit on that. All right. I think they could go, right now I believe they're at 15.
That actually surprised
Okay.
me.
And they would go from 15 to, depending on what other teams do, depending on what Minnesota does. Carolina's 8-8, Tampa's 8-8. Depending on what happens there, they could go down to, I think, 18. Okay. So it'd be about 3 guys.
Okay.
All right. Is there and everybody I talk to seems to be hell-bent, which is a pretty good song by Judas Priest, hell-bent for
Maui Goa.
and off right.
Maui Goa.
A Miami offensive tackle. All right. In case people are wondering, he's the Hurricanes left tackle. Hell of a player. All right. Viewed by many as a guy who is ranked among all players, not linemen. I'm talking all players. 15.
And where's his land of origin?
Samoan.
That's right.
So,
That's right, baby.
So you've
Sign me up.
So you've got a guy, Spencer Fano, also I believe Samoan. Okay, from Utah is in there as well. So if you're looking for linemen, now you know my philosophy. You don't draft for need. I think you get in deep trouble that way. However, those guys are pretty special tackles. So if a guy like Taylor Decker, who has hinted to many that he's contemplating retirement, you don't feel like you got Giovanni Manu as a guy who can take over and be that guy.
Not yet.
Okay? Not yet, according to who? According to you and I.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're not making a decision.
Real talk.
Either way, you need depth. Fair enough? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, 15 to 18 or so. Will it matter, do you think, that much?
No, I've said it for years. These guys have a very specific process. They come in, I would say, with about an 18 to 24-man list. Some of these guys might be in the 3rd round, i.e. Tesla.
Wait, you think NFL teams...
No, I think the Detroit Lions specifically have a list that they don't care what I'm blanking on the guy's name from ESPN, the draft
Mel
guru,
Kiper.
Mel Kiper. All of these experts, they throw that data out. They have a very specific list of their guys, and it doesn't matter.
For the first round, you're saying?
No. But that they'll take in the first round. Yeah. But some of these guys might be second-round talents, like Tyreek Williams.
Oh, you're
last
saying
year.
like the Lions have their own.
They have
board.
their own list.
Okay.
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah, but more.
But it's
so
not. It's not 18 to 23. It's in the hundreds.
No, I honestly, I'm saying that
they are literally. They have scouted hundreds of players.
This is, I don't mean to be. Yes, I feel that's obvious.
Okay.
But I feel that this team also has a very special list, and they have actually talked about it. They've referenced
Santa's
this
list.
list.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Santa's list.
Yeah.
I like that. And so these guys now, there's players, and it doesn't matter where we feel that they should be taken, that we might be reaching for them. Right. These are Lion culture guys that they've identified, and whether it's 15 or 18, I know a few of those guys are going to be on the board. So when we're picking it, when we end up at the 18 because we whoop Ben Johnson's ass this weekend, and we're looking at the guys that go at 15, there's going to be Lions fans crying, why'd we win that game? We could have taken so-and-so. And the fact is at 18, if that so-and-so was still there, Lions weren't even going to take them because they have their Santa's wish list already. And so I don't think it's a huge deal. Win the damn game, 9-8.
And we've seen Brad Holmes, if he wants a player, go get a player. We've seen him take draft picks and treat them like they're candy.
Yeah, but that's gotten him in trouble.
So
buddy.
it has.
And
that's where the arrogance
let me rephrase that. It's gotten him in trouble with the fans. Okay, which he should. You do not I don't care if it's Trajan Langdon, Scott Harris. I don't care who. If you or I were in those positions, we are not listening to Kool-Aid, Anson, Cam, and me.
No,
they're not.
Not at all.
Okay? And they shouldn't be. This is what they get paid a lot of money to do. They've got a lot of people helping them with scouting. Yeah. They've got analytics to associate with it, and they've got people who have played the game at the highest level helping them as well. That's who they're listening to. But to come out on the podium the next day and say what you just said is where you get in trouble with fans. Why are you giving up that much capital? He said something about Isaac Tesla that made me cringe just a little bit.
Because you think it might be true?
No, because I wanted to know where the hell that was a while ago. I'll explain. We'll play that for you when we come back and get your reaction to it. Glad you're with us on a Friday here on the Braylon Edwards Show. He's Anson, he's Kool-Aid, he's Cam, I'm Shep. Join us in the chat as much and as often as you want. We don't care if it's positive or negative. We want to hear from you. Right after this, from Ven Johnson and Arton Jakes.
That's right. Listen, it's a whole new year. You needed a whole new brand of justice, and you can get that with Ven Johnson Law. Doesn't matter what you need justice from, insurance companies, mortgage companies, anything. You need a fighter in your corner, you need Ven Johnson Law. Get them in your corner and head on over to venfights.com.
Well, sometimes you don't need to change things, right? When you are going to a place to watch your favorite sporting event and you'd like some good food and you want to have a nice cold beer, you don't have to overthink it. Arton Jakes Sports Bar and Grill is the place. 80 TVs, 22 draft beers, great wings, wraps, signature fairway burgers. Oh, and that Bam Bam shrimp to die for. All right? I'm going to tell you something. When I was there in Clarkston not too long ago, because Spenny and company did the outstanding job on the pre and watch party and everything else, I took a picture of their menu, all right? And I thought to myself, the Duke Burger, the Double Down Burger, the Maple Bacon Bourbon Street, the original Blue Jay, the Rocky Mountain Burger, all of them. Mouth-watering. Thank you very much. It's where you need to be when you're watching, especially college football, during the college football playoff. Arton Jakes. 6 locations throughout the great state of Michigan.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Is day 2 of your New Year's resolution. So you've already been at Planet Fitness for 1 day, right?
Wait, can we start over? Right? Can we start over?
Oh, you want to start over today?
Yeah, today is the new year. I thought you wanted me to
read this read over again. Listen, we're not starting this read over, but you get to start your life
Anson
over.
Looked at me so disappointed.
It is January 2nd. It's time to get in shape. It's cuffing season. I get it, but you got to get active. We are all
what's
strong.
Cuffing? What's cuffing season?
Cuffing season is where you stay nice and close, but you don't stay active.
Oh, okay.
And that is why a lot of people put on that, why they're called Midwestern out in California. You don't want to be called Midwestern when you go and visit California, then you need to get to Planet Fitness. They got over 50 locations in the Metro Detroit area alone with 2,700 worldwide. $24.99 gets you a monthly membership. They got all kinds of amenities, and you can bring a free guest anytime. We are all strong on this planet, so you better be strong too. Get your butt to Planet Fitness.
I'm not going to lie. I stayed out probably way too late New Year's Eve.
Attaboy.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Beer pong.
Showtime set.
At the Euchre party.
I love that.
No, there was no beer pong.
Okay.
I did have a few too many Sun Cruiser vodka iced teas.
It'll happen.
It does happen because they're really good. You know why it's good? It's real vodka. It's real iced tea.
No bubbles.
No bubbles. It's clean. It's crisp. It has a really good taste to it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll have another. It's only 100 calories. I'll have another. My buddy's like, hey man, you know it's 4.5% alcohol. Oops, I did forget that for just a brief moment. But listen, when you want to have a good time, this is the folks to handle your business. Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea. But please drink responsibly. It was a late night. It was. Oof. The videos from the next morning were pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
I need a link to those.
We tore it up pretty good.
Anything we can share on Woodward?
Oh yeah, but it's not me. It's I'm the one doing the videos, so I took it a lot of my buddies.
Smart.
We had a very large, fireball, right? Very large one. Probably gone in about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, doing work.
Yeah, it was.
So an interesting thing about Fireball was the least sold liquor for the liquor company that was making it. It was called something different.
Oh.
And they just completely repackaged it and made it for a handful of years when it first came out the #1 liquor in the United States.
and amongst golfers for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
So people are, welcome back. People are talking about Detroit's offensive line and defensive line, and they should be talking about the secondary as well. I would be looking at a linebacker, so I agree with all that. Aiden Fisher, hello. But I did notice this. The most unique offensive line combinations used this year. In other words, the number of different guys used. Chargers with 29, we knew that because they lost both their tackles.
They'd be scary if they were healthy.
Yes, they would be.
So would we.
They might be the favorite in the AFC. They might be the favorite.
They were healthy for sure.
The Browns and Saints each had 25 unique combinations.
That's
that surprised me.
For both those teams.
Surprised me, yeah. The Lions had 25, along with the Packers and the Vikings.
It's a killer, man.
Okay, so why is it the Packers were able to overcome it? Detroit necessarily couldn't.
Their defense.
Just a few thoughts. Yeah. Yep. The team with the fewest offensive line unique combinations. The teams that have had the most consistency among their offensive line. Care to wager a guess?
Seattle?
Seattle is not there.
I would say that the 49ers, because they've had injuries everywhere else, but somehow they're this good, so I'd say
That's
them.
a good
Yeah,
guess.
Trent Williams. They lost Trent Williams for a little bit.
I'd say New England.
New England is not on here.
What about Denver?
You ready? The Jets with 6.
Wow.
The Falcons with 6.
What?
The Dolphins and Bengals with 10.
So what's the formula then?
The Steelers, Bills, and Bears with 11.
Okay, so there's some playoff teams.
Okay, you were
There's
but
some
you were
playoff
waiting.
What's the formula?
Wow.
That's
that
crazy, isn't it?
spins the narrative on
Isn't
its
that
butt
crazy?
here in Detroit, huh? Got to have an offensive line to
That's
win.
from NFL Next Gen Stats.
That's
great,
insane.
great deep
Okay.
cut there, Shep.
That is, I found that wild,
Very intriguing.
incredibly strange.
Interesting.
There's a lot of things that I think the Lions have done this year that has made us all emotionally unstable at one point or another. For me, it was probably the lack of use with Isaac Tesla. It's one of the things. But that was my biggest angst, at least midway through the season. The frustration with the center position is something I had going into the year. When the year began, my frustration grew and grew more with the lack of playing time for their third-round pick. Because, as I've said ad nauseum on this show, and I know you guys have heard it way too often, that I believe in the draft, and I've had debates with this with Lions writers before, I'm a firm believer your first, second, and third-round picks should be starters. All 3 of them. After that, it should be, okay, unless you're drafting a quarterback and you want to nurture him along a little bit. Unless it's maybe a Jackson Dart, who I know you've been high on for a long time, and he's been really, really good,
Yes,
right, for the Giants.
Mr. CTE.
For the most part. So Isaac Tesla, when you give up as much capital as they gave up, my thought immediately, and probably unfair, was he's going to play, and he's going to be, and I said this on the show, he's going to be your third wide receiver. Here's Dan Campbell on Isaac Tesla and his growth just from this week. Go ahead and play it, Kool-Aid.
There's always, as with everything, when it doesn't work the way that we want it to work, it's a number of things. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it, and do I have a couple of ideas maybe right now? But I need some time here. I need time to really sit down and think about all this. You know, but what we do know is one way or another, probably change is inevitable. You know, now it may not be much, but there will be something that'll change.
That's my apologies. That's on the change that is about to come. What he said about Isaac Tesla is how much he's grown. All right, and he's not sure there's another player who's as grown as much as he has. Okay, well, as a head coach and a guy who's watching his team practice on a regular basis, I respect that immensely. Here's my frustration. He was targeted 26 times. He had 15 rocks in 16 games. He had 13 of those 15 receptions for first downs, and he had 6 touchdowns of those 15 receptions. I would love to know what took so long for them to incorporate him more into the offense. For some reason or another, Anson, I see this with other teams. Other teams find ways to get the ball to certain guys. And I get there's a lot of talent on Detroit's offense. but the red zone efficiency for this team is not like it was a year ago. Isaac TeSlaa could have helped that.
He could have helped that big time. And to be quite honest with you, those other 2 third-rounders could have net us a player before the season started and another player at the trade deadline.
Yes.
So when you're talking about TeSlaa not playing, you're talking about 3 players not in your lineup. The ability to acquire somebody.
If you had stayed there with him.
100%.
Yeah.
And again, I talked about this before. Chimera DK went first pick in the 4th round. Fantastic season for Tennessee. He's been fantastic over there. Going down the list in the 4th round, Deontay Thornton Jr., big guy, very promising start as a rookie out in Vegas. The rest of the guys taken in that round, not so much. Jalen Lane showed a little bit of flash. Elik Iomanner was also fantastic in Tennessee. So I have fought my friends the last 3 years, about the arrogance of Brad Holmes and his draft picks, because all that I've seen is most of them hit and most of them get developed, the guys at least that were, not immediate hits. But if you look since Brian Branch, the drafts, they haven't turned out. And there's some guys you picked a little bit later that have worked out, like Mahogany. But when you look at who you took in the 3rd round, you have to have Mahogany play like a 3rd-round pick now, because Manu is playing no better than what a 6th round would play at this point.
Okay.
So I think the TeSlaa thing, clearly, he looked good in Arkansas, but he was coming from a smaller program at Hillsdale.
Which doesn't matter.
But I think it was the X's and O's of what he needed to do as a pro that he wasn't up to speed on for the first half of the season. We started seeing him a little bit more in the second half, and I think we'll see a lot more of him in his second year as he truly understands everything at the NFL stage. And I think that was part of it. I think if he'd had 2 years at Arkansas, we would have seen a different pro enter. But right now, it's a glaring problem, the fact that you could have had 3 impact players, and now you're supposed to just have one that's supposed to make you forget about those other 2 draft picks, and all he did was remind us.
Yeah, personally, I get all that, and I think for the most part you're right. I don't care where a kid comes from college.
I don't either, but only 1 year at Arkansas. I just don't know if he had enough pro scheme understanding to take that jump to the NFL and hit right away the ground running.
He looked pretty good in the preseason. I know it's just preseason. He did not look lost when he actually got out there and played, and maybe that's because he was getting more reps during the week. Okay,
but 15 routes run versus 30 or 40.
No, I said 15 catches.
No, I'm saying 15 routes run per game in the second half of the season, around that, versus, what you would hope that he's going to have 30 plus routes run. And I think that his route tree might not be there yet, or he was making mistakes in different play call situations.
Yeah, that could be.
We know he can block, and we know he can go up for it. We saw him used for those things a lot in the first half. And then when we called upon him, he dropped the big one, man. Made up for it the week later, but that's what he was drafted for.
Well, he's not. Okay, hold on a second. Amon-Ra St. Brown had some drops this year, man.
Oh, surely.
Okay. Jamison Williams had a big 4th down drop.
I'm not sentencing him. I'm not saying he was drafted.
I'm just saying you brought
that
up
ball that he had to come down with in the Steelers or the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
That's what he was drafted for. He had an opportunity to make us all forget about 3 picks being used on him, and instead he waited a week to make that big grab in the end zone.
He also had some catches this year that were some of the best highlight reel catches.
I'm not taking away from him at all.
League,
but the moment that all Lion fans are going to remember this offseason is not the success, because there was a lot of it, but it was the one error where we needed it most.
With him, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. I was going to say, because, I mean, if that's the only one you're focused on and you've missed out on all the other ones, we're talking about production here.
Vocal minority, brother.
Yeah.
I see what he did. What was his first 6 catches were pretty much all touchdowns, and half of them were one-handed. The guy has a great future. But the other half of Lions fans, the SOL fans, they're going to be thinking about that drop in the end zone, and that's what we drafted him for, they'll say.
So, love to hear your thoughts in the chat on whether or not you want the Lions to beat the Bears or not. That's my frustration has been plentiful with the Lions. But the TeSlaa thing for me is one of those that has frustrated me. I know for Lions fans, I think as they look back on this season, no matter what happened Sunday in Chicago, I do not think they're going to be thinking of Isaac Tesla's drop against Pittsburgh. I think they're going to be thinking more about Brad Holmes' inactivity at the trade deadline and his unwillingness to address certain needs during the draft free agents.
But when they're specifically talking Tesla, that's what's going to come up. Steve Wild here, I agree. He needed to catch that one, or at least not the PI. That moment mattered most. His other catches didn't matter that much.
Yeah, I think there are some touchdowns. I don't think you catch 6 touchdowns and all of them are just meaningless. So that's my opinion on that. Speaking of quarterbacks and speaking of football and stuff, I wrote this down the other day. I got this little nugget here for you guys.
The Shep notepad, though.
And we do have a little breaking news. It kind of goes with something we're going to talk about later with the Pistons.
Okay. We'll get to that here. Dak Prescott's going to play against the Giants this weekend. He's got 14 straight wins against the Giants.
Wow. 14
in a row.
Ownership.
What is the NFL record from consecutive wins against an opponent?
I would imagine it's probably the Packers on the Lions, isn't it? 18?
So I originally, when I heard this, I guessed Tom Brady against Buffalo. It's Bob Greasy against Buffalo with 17 in a row.
And didn't Rodgers have 16 on us in a row or something?
Didn't think that many.
It was a lot.
I didn't think it was 16. I could be wrong here. Anyway, I heard this on NFL radio. It was unbelievable. The other thing, Dak Prescott within the division is 33-8. Patrick Mahomes, to put it in perspective, is 36-7.
Yeah, but those are regular season stats.
Yeah, sure. I know. I'm just telling you.
Cowgirls don't do it in the playoffs.
Those are pretty impressive. I wanted to get into the college football playoff, but let's get to the breaking news. Then we'll get to the college football playoffs from yesterday. The theater and the way it is changing college football now is, I think, pretty spectacular. I don't know if people like it or not. Do you like, quote-unquote, blue bloods? Why doesn't this happen in basketball? This is, I think it's an interesting concept of what's taking place in college football. I think college football is broken right now. I think it needs to be fixed. I don't know if you heard what Dan Lanning, Oregon's coach, said about what he thinks it should be fixed. He thinks the season should be earlier by 1 week. He thinks in December they should all play Saturday games. He thinks the national title should be played on January 1st, and the portal should open on January 1st. I don't disagree with that, but I do disagree with January 1st being the portal. You're celebrating a national championship, and it's opening things up.
January 3rd, how about?
Yeah, I would say January 3rd, a couple of days afterwards.
I like everything he came up with, to be honest.
Yeah.
All sounds good.
By the way, it's also something that Nick Saban has been saying for a long, long time.
Sounds like your coaches are starting to come together, Shep.
I know.
That's what you've been calling for 2 weeks now.
See, I love Nick Saban. I think he's...
You don't say.
I just think he's phenomenal. Not just as a coach, but he says the right things that the NCAA should be listening to.
He's a leader of men.
He is, and he has said you've got to change the calendar. And by the way, all 4 coaches left in the college football playoff are Nick Saban tree disciples.
And by the way,
all of them.
Nick Saban is a Spartan.
Nick, actually, he's a Golden Flash.
But he's also a Spartan.
But he coached Michigan State. But he
Nick Foles, Super Bowl quarterback, Spartan.
Claim away. Go right ahead. I'm not sure how many people would be saying that about Nick Saban, but claim away. Go ahead with the breaking news.
I was going to school there when he was there. Maybe we got to the Citrus Bowl. Bobby took us home, but Nick got us there.
Very proud of you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I know we're going to talk a little defense today. And you talked about a couple people who are going to be disqualified for potentially some defensive awards.
And offensive.
Today.
2 big names.
Isaiah Stewart has been named the Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month for games played in December.
Of the month.
And he recorded his 400th block against Miami of his career against Miami last night, making him the 10th player in franchise history to record 400 blocks.
Good for him.
Good for Stu.
That's great. Wish it would have come in a win.
Yeah, that was tough.
So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the 3 o'clock hour. I want to talk a little bit about the college football playoff. Love what Trinidad Chambliss did yesterday. The kid from Grand Rapids, the kid who went to Ferris State, won a national championship there. I know it's not a big school. I don't know how many people would necessarily draft this kid, although he's asked for a 6th year. I don't even know if he necessarily needs it. I mean, I think he spins it pretty damn well. I'm not saying I'd draft him in the first round, but I love what he's done. I read something where he will be the first FBS quarterback in history to have 3,500 yards passing, 500 yards rushing, 5 or fewer interceptions, and 15 or fewer sacks. That has never happened. That is, to me, incredible. Love what he's done. And by the way, he was a 0 star. So Braylon and I have had this debate about 5 stars and 0 stars, or 5 stars and 4 stars, and how you have to have them, okay? He was a 0 star. Fernando Mendoza, how many stars were next to his name when he left high school? Kid who just won the Heisman Trophy and might be the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft. How many stars?
No more than 2 because it's about that kid's head, not his body.
You're correct. There are 2. He's a 2-star. If I asked you how many stars, how many 5 stars did Alabama have, and they just got smoked 38-3. How many 5 stars? They had 14.
I was going to say 16.
Indiana had none.
None, not 1, eh?
Bama had 64 4 and 5 stars.
Wow.
Total. Indiana had 7. 3-star recruits, Indiana had 55. Alabama had 17. Now that is incredible.
Coaching, baby.
Coaching and maturity. Most of the guys on Indiana, the starters, are older than 21. What we're seeing, I don't know what it is on Alabama, in fairness. What we're seeing, I believe, is we're seeing college football take a page from college hockey. Where college hockey, you've got guys who are 22, 23 years old and playing because you can marinate a little bit in juniors and things of that nature, right? College football, because of the transfer portal, because of the opportunity to get some extra years, you've got older guys coming into football programs and contributing. It's pretty wild. And the SEC, they're getting hurt more than anybody else. All you got to do is look at what they've done. They're 2-6 against other conferences, okay, in the college football playoff. It's if you're looking at something that's hurt them, I want you to think about this for a minute. You're looking at a team like Indiana. Indiana surrendered 10 points to Illinois, 13 points to Michigan State.
I was waiting for it.
10 points to Ohio State and 3 to Alabama.
Yep.
James Madison scored more on the road in Eugene against that Oregon defense, and Indiana scored more against that than Alabama could.
Shep, the state of the NCAA is a mess. But this has been fun.
It's been fun. I agree with you.
College football playoffs this year is the best representation of what they had hoped would come out of this, in my opinion. I know people are against the Green Wave and against James Madison being there. I love that. I love that. And they represented decently, you know, I mean, listen, Michigan State, they didn't even score. You know, they got throttled by Alabama. We're starting to see true parity right now. The fact that the SEC.
And you like that?
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
So here's what I remembered. Everybody started before the college football playoff began. Everybody was saying you got to worry about the blowouts. So you brought up James Madison and Tulane. Both teams were, in all intents and purposes, blown out, right?
Sure, but they still showed, you know?
Yeah. How much is a blowout? What do you consider it?
30.
30?
Yeah.
You don't think 3 scores, you don't think 21 points is a blowout?
In the NFL, yeah.
Not in college football?
No, not really. I mean, you see 55-point spreads in college football. You know, you're seeing 15 max in the
right,
NFL.
but I'm talking about when you get to the college football playoff.
Yeah, but again, I mean, 30. Well, look at what we're. I mean, I know it's apples to oranges a bit, but you look at the NCAA tournament and you expect that kind of stuff. And I think the way that we're so tied to these premier programs for decades, and we're unwilling to recognize anybody else. Somehow you got to be able to get on that stage, you know, and it starts somewhere. And I think that this inclusion allows those other programs to happen. We might not see Tulane back ever. Or we could see Tulane in 3 years all of a sudden become a a yearly team that's maybe in this tournament.
So so when Oregon beat James Madison 51-34, that's not a blowout. You didn't think it was a blowout?
No.
Okay.
No,
I thought,
that's not your 21 there. It's only 17.
I know. I thought it was a blowout.
Okay, but
because of how it was being played.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
and I know that some of it was some garbage points, but they scored and looked better than what most pundits had expected.
For
correct?
sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Did it late, but yeah, for sure. And the reason I bring this up is because a year ago, people were complaining that the college football playoff had too many blowouts, right? SMU and all this other stuff. Okay. When you look at the first round, Alabama beat Oklahoma. They came from 17 points down and beat them by 10. I don't think that was a blowout. I thought it was a good football game.
Yeah.
Miami, Texas A&M. The difference was 7 points. Sure, it wasn't a
Great
blowout. Wasn't super entertaining, but whatever. Ole Miss blew out Tulane 41-10. I think Oregon blew out James Madison 51-34. Then you look at the quarterfinal games. Oregon beat the snot out of Texas Tech, whose offense could not do anything. Bad time for Morton to have the worst game of the year. Indiana rolled Alabama 38-3. They were fantastic. Miami, Ohio State, that was more physical. Okay, that was a 10-point difference. And then Ole Miss and Georgia gave us some brilliant theater, I thought, last night. But you had two games that were really not very competitive. And I don't think we're necessarily going to get that moving forward. Indiana, Oregon is a rematch that was a really good game. Ole Miss, Miami, you're going to pit a really good offense against an elite defense. Yeah. So I don't think you're going to get
Elite Eight, Final Four come March for the NCAA basketball tournament. We see blowouts, but we're all begging for the 12 seed to make it to the Final Four. So why wouldn't we allow one of these Cinderella stories for a smaller school the same way that we embrace them in March? Why are we so adamantly against them in December and January? That's my thing. So I'm all about, I was thinking about it. I think the only non-underdog that was not a Detroit team that I've ever rooted for, and they actually won, was the OKC Thunder this last year. And that's because, I love me some J-Dub. But otherwise, I'm always rooting for the underdog, pretty much always.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about when they talk about when people in general talk about blowouts. You're not supposed to have that in the Final Four. You're not supposed to have that. In other words, the committee's job, and I don't think it's necessarily the way you should do it. Okay, put together based on a committee. Because we've talked about this, the SEC and all the notoriety they get and the bonus points they get for playing their conference. I mean, look at what Diego Pavia said. All you got to do against Iowa is score 7 points. Oops.
Diego
Pavia. So when you're looking at that, that's what they kept talking about. You don't want blowouts. And that was the big fear with Tulane and James Madison. And even though that may have been the case in the first round, you did see it in later rounds.
They look better than Alabama did this weekend.
Absolutely. No question. Now,
could have Alabama played a day later and shown out better versus Indy? I mean, that's possible. I thought those second-round matchups, even though the outcome, there were some blowouts, as you said, Shep, I thought that all of those on paper looked like great matchups.
I did too. And look, to your point, you were talking about blowouts in college basketball. UConn blew out San Diego State by 30, if people recall, a 1 seed against a 5 seed. Later, did they not blow out Illinois? 77-50. Yeah. 77-52. So you're seeing it. It's just I thought part of my belief is part of the committee's job is to make sure they've got the right teams, not just in the tournament, but playing the right teams to get through the tournament.
Yeah, like the right matchups along the way.
Yeah.
Mid-November, I remember people talking about how badly IU was going to get exposed in the college football playoffs. And shouldn't be a number 1 seed.
Now, we were told, though, that the expansion of this was to try to further ensure that they get it right. Sometimes I do wonder if you just have it at the 4, is that the distilled process that you need to just kind of get your 4 best teams? Usually at the top, you got it, but all the controversy they continue to talk about over the years, they expanded to 12, and I'm wondering, has it done anything to further distill that process?
Do you think they have the 4 best teams are about to play? I mean, they've proven it, so they obviously have. But do you feel like the 4 best teams are about to play in this championship?
I don't know. Georgia's pretty damn good.
I thought Georgia was. Me
Georgia's
too.
pretty damn good.
Yeah. But
they get a different seed, and I think they beat Oregon.
A different seed, okay. Instead of the 3?
They get the 4, and they're playing IU.
Yeah. That was, I'll be honest with you, my 2 big question marks were Georgia, why was Georgia a 3? And why was Texas A&M a 7? And I think I was wrong about both, but specifically wrong about Texas A&M.
But maybe they wanted to create these types of moments, too. When you talk about the magic of the bracket, it's about having those types of upsets sometimes, having the bracket look that slanted sometimes.
And maybe they don't want to see. Maybe they don't want to see an all SEC Ole Miss Georgia final, so they play them a little bit earlier.
Play them earlier.
That could be
same reason you're seeing an all Big Ten semifinal right now instead of an all Big Ten final.
And well, that's why many people felt like they were kind of setting it up for Indiana against Ohio State. Indiana, to me,
rematch
is so much fun to watch. Not because, Kurt Signetti is staring and making those faces on the sideline, but because they are so good. And the thing that I like about them more than anything else is that they don't hurt themselves. They don't beat themselves.
Just like the Lions.
Just discipline.
Right?
Hey, by the way, the Lions, I said their third down efficiency, not as good. You look that up. They're ranked 5th in the league in red zone. I'm sorry, not third down. Red zone efficiency.
Yeah, the third down this year just really seemed like an Achilles heel for them in the second half of the season. They were so good the last couple of years and really good the first half of this season. Then a little bit of yips, a little bit of drops, some strange play calls, and third down really seemed to be a tough thing for them.
So, which player do you want of all the players who are going to play for Detroit on Sunday or are questionable to play? Who's the one guy you want to see more of than anybody else? I've got mine. We'll get yours as well in the chat, and when we come back on the Braylon Edwards show, and then a little bit later on, we are going to talk a little bit more about the Pistons and what Asar Thompson is doing. That is borderline historic.
Yes, sir.
All right? Defensively. We'll get to that when we come back here on the Braylon Edwards Show after this from Smoothie King and Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hey, guys, I already talked to you about resolution season. It is January 2nd. You got to get your body right. You head on over to, of course, Planet Fitness, but you know how you fuel before and after? You hit Smoothie King. They got real fruit and protein options that are actually going to make you feel great and give you energy before and after your workout. They've also got an awesome Healthy Rewards app that allows you to find your specific blend. You can find that at smoothieking.com. And next Friday, Braylon Edwards will be back highlighting our next Smoothie King High School Athlete of the Week. He'll be back to do that on Friday. But if you want to nominate somebody somebody in the Michigan area that needs to be nominated, just scan that QR code and get them on the board.
Shout out to our friends at Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. What a great season they had in 2025, and they're going to continue it in 2026, helping you and your neighbors and your family members. That's something they've been doing for well over 40 years as reliable people. There's nothing like really good customer service these days, and Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning takes a great deal of pride in doing just that. With winter in full swing, now's the perfect time to schedule a regular maintenance to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently all season long. How do you do that? You go to their website, sharonsheating.com. That's sharonsheating.com, or call them today, 734-238-3805. That's 734-238-3805, and tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, he's a ache. No side effects. Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Happy 2026, y'all. Check it out. If you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, visit Massage Chair House of Bloomfield Hills. It is the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, featuring top-tier brands like Infinity and Osaki. This is your destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on the screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Amon-Ra St. Brown makes a difference on the field, and his foundation makes a difference off it. There's no question about that. He's a good person. He's a big reason why Detroit is successful, and a big reason why we love partnering with him is because of his big heart. St. Brown Foundation has partnered with Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and Wicked Awesome Wishes to host a main event January 5th. That's Monday from 4 until 7. Children will be here who are facing life-altering challenges and illnesses, and we're going to give them, hopefully, the time of their lives by giving them a chance to have a really good meal and some unforgettable memories with a special dinner and fun activities where they can go right back there in Lady Jane's here in Birmingham, get their hair dyed blue just like Amon-Ra St. Brown has done in the past as well. We would invite you to be part of our stream, as always, on Monday, January 5th. All day long, we'll be talking about it. Amon-Ra St. Brown will be here as well, and we invite you to help the causes. How do you do that? You go to the stbrownfoundation.org or you go to wickedawesomewishes.org and help those kids. They deserve it. All right, we are back with you here on the Braylon Edwards Show.
I'm sorry,
what's
Chef.
that? That's okay.
I say you do that read such justice.
Oh,
yeah, he does. During the break, I was pointing out that the play that we talked about earlier in the week where I think it was Dennis Jenkins threw the ball to Bronny James at the end of the game, and Bronny was so I was like, they just made the top 10 plays. It's
That's insane.
It's
top
not.
10.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not top 10.
I was trying to keep my laughter in watching some of those plays.
Which they do a pretty
Brutal.
good. I think they do a pretty good job of that. Not top 10 plays. So we'll get to that coming up here. We'll get to some impressive accomplishment by a Detroit Red Wing as well. But as the Lions get set to play the Bears in Chicago Sunday, I want to know the player you want to see more of. For me, it's Miles Frazier. If he's good enough to go, I want to see him. You're not coming to a conclusion here, folks. You're not coming to any, okay, he's definitely going to be the starting guard. I want to see reps from certain players. And it's easy to bring in a young guy for sure. But that's oftentimes what these games mean. They mean you got to have somebody that hopefully you're going to get a long look at next year and a guy who might be part of your future. All right? And I know there'll be some people out there, Kyle Allen, you want to see him because you don't want to see Jared Goff so he doesn't get injured. I want to know why you want to see him from a positive standpoint. And for me, it's Miles Frazier. Dude's a 5th-round draft pick. He can play guard or tackle. I want to see if you got something or what the front office saw in this guy for us to actually believe that he could be part of a starting unit next year.
I loved his college film. I like that one a lot. I have a different answer, though.
Good.
I had a guy that we were here live for the NFL draft, day 3, when it was in Detroit. I'd been telling you guys all week it was going to happen. We were on the clock. I said a name. Sure enough, Sione Vaki.
Oh, nice. You said that, huh? You predicted that. Good for you.
I did.
That's cool.
And Sione Vaki's a guy that he was the number 1 receiving back with 10 or more catches his last year in college.
Okay.
He was top 5, I believe, with 40 or more carries for actual running backs in terms of performance, but he was largely on the field as a member of the secondary. I really thought that we were going to see a guy that was going to be a little bit of a two-way player that would help in the secondary situations. We've obviously seen him a lot in special teams. I think that's why we allowed Germ to leave. He hasn't stayed healthy, and I mean, fortunately, both of our backs stayed healthy this year. It hasn't been the same over the last 2 years. This guy has a lot of different skills, and I've seen talent, at least at the college level. Lions saw talent and opportunity for this guy. He just hasn't stayed healthy, and the guys ahead of him have been so good. I want to see him get 14-plus touches as a running back.
I like that answer. I really do. Not that he's going to take the place of Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery if he comes back, but I like the answer because you need depth on this team, and we don't know what that depth is. Now, fortunately, that's a good thing at the running back spot.
Well, and I think we always kind of had a backup to either Jamal Williams or Monty with a Craig Reynolds type, a middle class or poor man's version of a thumper. But we don't have a direct replacement or a guy that can act like Jahmyr Gibbs if he goes down for 3 quarters or misses 2 games. And I think that Sione is, with his receiving ability, his quickness, and just his vision, I think that he could be a pretty nice version of that if we needed him for a couple games to do so.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a good one. Kool-Aid, you got anybody different? Who you want to see?
Vaki is one that I've been waiting to see what he can be, but Dante151, he really wanted to see Ahmed Hassanin.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Egyptian magician.
Yeah. And again, not that it answers the question, but from a depth standpoint, as a 6th-round draft pick, he would be a guy that, would spell a defensive end. Look, you know what everybody wants. Everybody wants some type of edge rusher, whether it be in the draft or via free agency, and they want some offensive linemen. And I love the attitude, safety too. But I love the attitude, and it's true. But Hassanin could go a long way, at least knowing that A, he's healthy, and B, can he be a guy who can be productive on winning some of those one-on-one battles? Can he handle chips? Can he be a legitimate chip for Detroit as a backup moving forward? I don't expect him to be a starter, but I would love for him to be a guy who you could bring in situational positions.
You like this one from Sideless?
Yeah, you
Go
see
ahead.
it, Mr. Byrne in the chat, because I was waiting just to see if one of our chat members
I
would.
could tell you
wanted
like
to
that
say
one
it,
too.
But I was like, you know what? Let's see. He says, "Give me Tesla." First, he broke a rookie touchdown record for a Lions rookie receiver. Second, show us he can do more than just be a red zone threat.
Sit Amon-Ra, 100% snap count, 100%, snap count for Tesla. Give him a bunch of different routes. I don't want to just see, jump balls. I don't want to just see him downfield blocking. Let's see him on button hooks and ins and outs and slants and everything else that you want to see this guy be able to handle for the next 3 years as a Lion.
Good stuff, man. See, that's the chat is so locked in. I absolutely love it. Cam, you got one? Who you might want to see? Maybe
I
more?
do. I like all those answers already, though. I like the Vakis. I like the Hassanin. I want to see reps out of Tyleek Williams, though. I want to see him get primed for a standout season next year.
You want to see production from Tyleek.
Adios, DJ Reader. Insert Tyleek Williams.
Did get his first sack by about 2 inches last week.
So that's a really
and how he fares against a Ben Johnson, elite-led offensive line. How does he do against?
That's true. Yeah.
That
I'm trying to think if I've seen him enough or not. 41%. We talked about this the other day. He's taken 41% of the snaps. He started 9 games. He's played in all 16, and yet his numbers are, how shall I put this? Underwhelming. Yes, underwhelming.
You owe me a Coke.
17 tackles and 1 sack. I think I expected more from a first-round pick, and I don't think I'm out of line expecting that.
Stephen Wilds, I was gonna punk you guys and start off with Ennis Rakestraw, but no, man. I mean, is he alive? Is he still alive?
He should be.
I hope he's still with us.
Does he live in the country?
That's amazing. It really is. It's amazing.
Is he playing basketball for Baylor?
You got to.
I don't know where he is.
So that's what he said. He said Enos Rakestraw.
As a joke, with the big old laugh face after it.
All right. Okay, I appreciate that. That's good insight. That's good info, and that's really good stuff. So the Pistons lose yesterday to Miami as we shift gears.
West Coast letdown.
And okay, yeah, it could be.
Happens a lot.
That doesn't mean it's acceptable.
No, but when you get home late at night, the night before, you got that 3 hours of loss. You're trying to settle down and sleep, and then you got to be right back downtown with the less than 12 hours they had to prepare for this game after flying back home. And
yeah, you're saying it's a scheduling loss.
But you also lost Jalen Duren in the first quarter.
So you're saying it's a scheduling loss.
I would attribute a little bit of that to it, but I also think 3 quarters without Duren hurt them tremendously. They got beat in the points of the paint, which they never do, and I think that was missing Duren.
Agreed with all that. Remember, they had 74 points in the paint the other day against the Lakers.
Yeah. Where was that last night?
They were so the lead is down to 1.5 for the top spot in the East.
Peasants at the moat, banging on the drawbridge. Peasants hungry for meat.
The New York Peasants.
I wonder. We sure don't have to do it now. I don't think there's any reason for it. They haven't played their best basketball over the last couple of weeks. We talk a lot about how good they are and how good certain players are, but when they start to stumble a little bit, we kind of make excuses for it. Where are you right now with the way they're playing?
I'm very happy with the way that they're playing. There's a few things that I've got an issue with. It's turnovers, it's fouls, and it's free throw shooting. They're fouling too much. That will go away come playoff time. Free throws, I don't know how much better.
Why will it go away come playoff time?
Because it's a more physical brand of basketball that they're allowing in the playoffs. They will still have issues with it, but we are talking about regular season, and those fouls will creep up and cost them games this year. Mm-hmm. Free throws have already cost them games. In fact, last night it's a completely different game if they're shooting free throws now.
In case people are wondering, Detroit is dead last in personal fouls. Like, they commit more fouls than anybody else.
Yes,
all right?
Yeah, very physical team.
Yeah. It's close, them and Indiana, but they still rank last in that category.
Shep, my biggest concern with this team is the upcoming 2-month schedule that they have.
Really? Okay.
February and March are daunting. In fact, at the end of January into those 2 months is daunting. This team could win 60 games. They could also stumble and win 54.
Which I'd still take.
Oh, hell
I would have no
yes.
problem with 54.
I'll absolutely take
None
54,
whatsoever.
but that's the difference between hosting every series in the Eastern Conference versus being a 2 seed and heading back to MSG. So for me right now, I think that they have to just clean up their efficiency. Something that we saw in that Lakers game, Cade only played 32 minutes. Mm-hmm. LeBron didn't play a whole lot either because they took care of business in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And I'm seeing
He's also 41.
But yeah, sure. But if that game's closer, he's playing some more, and so is Cade. And I think that what we need to see out of this team is if they clean up their efficiency, they're going to get more rest for somebody like Cade that has serious usage.
All right, explain to me the free throw shooting, because this is something you've talked about. I've kind of monitored it. They're second in the National Basketball Association free throw attempts per game.
And where are they at in terms of actual percentage?
I'll have to dig a little deeper on that. I thought you were frustrated that they didn't get to the line more.
No, I'm frustrated they're not making their shots. I think that Duren has really become a great free throw shooter. He's having a career year behind the stripe, but Cade is actually having his worst year behind the stripe. Now, he's been good. He's raised it up to 83% over the last couple of weeks. It's been better. Okay. You look at Asar right now, and if you have
his second worst, by the way. Only Milwaukee's worst at the free throw line.
If you have Asar in the game and you're up by 4 points left in the fourth quarter with a minute left in New York for defensive purposes, it's now Hack and Asar. Well, I guess before the last 2 minutes, I got to say, because of that new rule. But Asar's a 50% free throw shooter, and that is an issue for me. I've seen a lot of misses in the fourth quarter. It's those three things. It's fouls, it's turnovers, and it's free throws. Again, I don't know if you can tighten up free throws in one season or one half season, but fouling and efficiency in terms of turning that rock over and handling it. You look at two guys that we're going to talk about.
Who's to blame for the turnovers, do you think? They're in the low.
It's youth.
Youth. They're in the lower half.
It's youth. I believe it's youth. And I think they've gotten better. Cade's better this year. But I believe that a lot of it is youth. There's just certain points where you see Asar make some boneheaded plays that's just youth. Even last night we saw some really bad passes from Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
And I still think he's learning how. If you watch that game last night, Miami's double teams of Cade Cunningham, Kool-Aid, were so well timed. And then the relief on the outlet passing, they were playing those passing lanes off that double team so well. Another challenge that a burgeoning superstar, MVP level superstar, is going to have to learn.
Okay, so in baseball, oftentimes what we'll do is we'll say a guy gets 1,500 at bats, and I've made the excuse for it plenty. Okay, in basketball, give me the barometer in which you no longer blame youth. How many games do you have to play?
When you're let's say your core age is 20.
No. I'm not talking about
our core age is 23.
Age doesn't matter.
But
it's
it
how
does.
many. No, it doesn't.
Yes,
it's how many games you play.
Okay, so let's talk about Asar. How old's Asar? 24. He missed a season and a half.
How many games has he played?
Jaden Ivey missed over a year. Oh. Cade's almost missed 2 years. Okay. And our core age of all these guys I'm mentioning, along with Duren and Ron Holland, is 23.
That's why I brought up, we started, I brought it up, the 1,500 at bats. I didn't say how old the player had to be. I talked about experience. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between age and
But I was going to say 23, but these guys with games played are actually more like 21 and a half.
Okay.
Because most of these guys...
Because Asar Thompson's played 152 games in his career.
And he's missed, yeah.
Okay.
And
no, that's what he's played.
I know.
I don't care how many he's missed. I'm talking about how many he's played. How many games do you feel is the right measuring stick?
150, that's 2 seasons, is well within youthful mistake zone. I think that those first 3 years, I think you're looking at, probably 250 games where you can really be like, you shouldn't be making that mistake anymore.
Okay.
I think that when you get to the playoffs, you start seeing a whole new set of physicality and defense. And now you see players that have been in the league for 5 years are making playoff mistakes that you have to learn from by being in playoff series. And that's why we talk so much about how the NBA, I believe, more so than any other league, is a stepping stone league. Mm-hmm. You have to learn how to win a 7-game series. To me, that's this team. It's just all youth, and the way that Cade is playing, the level of intelligence that he's playing it above his age and above his experience, especially when you consider those 2 injury-marred seasons.
Okay. I don't know if I can go all the way in on the whole youth thing, but that's why I still haven't gotten how many games for you is enough. If you're looking at 200, that's Jaden Ivey. If you're looking at 230 or whatever it is, that's Cade Cunningham. When do we stop saying youth is the reason they're turning the ball over?
Around there.
Okay.
250-ish.
250? So you're at 250.
I'm about 250 because you're talking about 3 full seasons. You know, and I mean, you look at what happened to Asar. The guy missed a whole half season, misses a whole off season of conditioning because of a blood clot. And then he comes back in late November. Guy didn't even get up to 30 minutes until early March. So when you look at last year, and you can put those games in there, but the guy wasn't truly getting experience. He wasn't playing as a full-time starter. He wasn't in clutch moments because of those minute restrictions. What you saw him do from March to April to the playoffs, I thought you really saw him grow. I thought we've seen a lot more growth out of him. He still is a guy that, more so than anybody on this team, not named Ron Holland, is trying to have the game slow down and adjust to his uber athleticism. Sometimes those guys are just moving too quickly.
Will you use that philosophy with just about every sport, youth and games played? And do you think that's fair? I mean, if you're willing to do that for Asar Thompson, and you're willing to do that with Ron Holland, rightfully so for Ron Holland, and Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, are you willing to do that with just about every athlete that you come in contact with regarding their youth?
I think back to my 5.5 years at this network and what I knew when I first started, what I learned and what I grew into over those years, and with every single other job as a high school head basketball coach, all of that. It takes a few years to learn and to get comfortable, which then breeds confidence and muscle memory in those things.
So tell me why you were so hard on Riley Green this year when he had missed a lot of time, injury. He was young. He was drafted right out of high school. And yet he was an all-star in his third year before 1,500 career at-bats. You're going to use it in basketball, but you won't use it for a specific player in baseball. Why is that?
Well, it's a mistake that he's embracing. He's literally gone out there and said, I don't care about strikeouts. Cade Cunningham cares about turnovers, don't he?
Yeah, he does. He talks about this every time he gets asked about it, every time he gets the opportunity to talk about the improvements in his game. It's about getting those turnovers down. And he talked about it, especially in a clutch. That's something I've been looking at more and more this year.
Yeah, but we brought up Jaden Ivey. We brought up Asar Thompson.
Yeah. And then you brought up Riley Green.
And you go right to Cade Cunningham.
I got him here, didn't I? I got him on that one.
No,
listen,
you didn't.
no, it comes down to him you asked why I'm so hard on him. Yeah. Because his constant mistake, he literally went out in an interview last year and said, I don't care about my glaring deficiency in my game. He said that. At no point has Asar embraced his inability to hit free throws or hit from the outside. At no point has anybody...
I'm not sure anybody's asked him directly about that. I would love to know the answer to that. I said that at the time when Riley Green said nobody cares about strikeouts, which is a stupid thing to say. It was a dumb thing to say, period. He's not the only player to say it, but it doesn't matter. He's the player who did say. He's one of the many players who did say it, and it doesn't make any of them look good. Flat out, when you have that hole in your game and you're acknowledging it, but you say that it doesn't matter when it truly does. It's a wasted at bat. Not putting the ball in play is a wasted at bat. I don't care when they say, oh, ground ball to second, how it's still an outs and out. No. Ground ball to second may move a guy from second over to third, whereas the strikeout doesn't move him anywhere. All right? Ground ball to second, guy might make an error on it. So I agree 100% with you when it comes to that strikeout and that admission. It was a stupid thing to say, and he should come back and say, look, I made that mistake, blah, 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 blah. I'm just wondering, before that, you were even on him, okay, and people talk about the strikeouts. You conveniently forget the two All-Stars. You easily forget the homers, the RBIs, and the Silver Slugger. But you're quick to point out the one negative, but you're not quick out to point out the many negatives for another, what we would consider a young player.
Well, I'm specifically talking about turnovers with this basketball team. And
but you blamed it on youth.
I do. I see that. Listen, when you look at the last year's team and some of the bonehead decisions they made in big games and big moments and clutch time at the end of games, they've cut that big time. They've cut that down big time. Last night I saw some, tired, maybe, frustrated, youthful decisions and terrible They just didn't take care of the ball well at all.
Yeah.
And to me, that's something that, you see the Boston Celtics come back from a road trip where they do well and they beat the Lakers in that last game. They come back with a different understanding of what it takes to get through that fatigue.
Sure.
Mentally and physically when you come back from one of those.
Yeah, let's
I think we're really close to it. I think we're really close to that.
Let's just remind people, it's not like they played a back-to-back. They had a day off in between.
Correct.
Coming back.
Which
doesn't help. It's not easy. I've been on those trips.
But they didn't fly home after L.A. They slept in L.A.
Yeah,
they wake up. They didn't get home until like 10:30 the night before. So
that's a choice, though. That's what teams do now.
Sure.
Okay. You have that choice. Players they've actually said that. When did they change that rule? About, I don't know, 6-7 years ago or whatever, where they said we're going to stay that extra night instead of jumping on the plane, getting back, and then sleeping in your own bed. I mean, that's that.
I still think Duren was the reason that this game got out of hand. I mean, were they a little fatigued? Did they not take care of the ball? But sure, you're brand new, pretty much maybe should be all-star at center is out.
Hope he is.
And you get beat. In the paint. And the paint is somewhere we've dominated in the second chance.
Well, your coach was quoted as saying, "We didn't come to play."
Well, hey, and I saw some of that. I definitely saw some of that. I mean,
Marcus
Sasser came to play, though.
I like that. I like that J.B. Bickerstaff said that.
Oh, yeah.
I like it when Todd McClellan says it. I like it when Dan Campbell says it. There's nothing – I wouldn't want to hear it every night that there's a loss. But at appropriate times, this is where you put your big boy pants on, okay? These can be difficult. We all know that. Tail end of back-to-backs can be difficult. That's what you sign up for. That's what you're supposed to be able to handle. Guys before you did it, guys after you will do it. And by the way, guys in other sports do the same damn thing, okay? So I don't think any of them are making excuses. I just love that their coach is coming out and saying, you know what, we didn't come to play. That's on me. That's on your leadership too.
Manipulate and motivate.
Absolutely. All right. There is a really cool thing that happened to one of our local athletes. We'll get to that on the other side. We'll let you hear exactly how it went down after this from Jack's Car Wash and Les Stanford, who's got some unbelievable deals even in the new year. I know usually you see these deals at the end of one year, but never do you see these deals at the beginning of a brand new car season. But Les Stanford is different. They're unique. Go to lesstanford.com. Check out their incredible deals that you see right there on your screen. The 2026 Silverado, $189 a month plus tax. The Cadillac, $359 plus tax of an XT6 variety. And the 2026 Enclave. That Buick is $299 a month plus tax. Check out the massive inventory today. Les Stanford and lesstanford.com.
You know, I'm pretty sure Maz would be real proud of me right now because the snow's done and the sun's out. And I'm looking at Jack's right across the street here from Woodward Sports. I'm headed there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get
I'm headed there. I need to clean my whip up, man.
I feel bad.
I need to clean her up, man. And I'm going to do it for free. Because Woodward Sports is going to buy you a car wash at Jack's. All you got to do is text 888-522-1729 and send them the letters WSN. They're going to send you back a free trip to their car wash so your car can shine. They got free vacuums, free compressed air, free mat cleaning rooms with over 40-plus locations in Metro Detroit, and 8 of those have the detailing rooms where you can get that interior sparkly clean. Head on over to Jack's Car Wash.
Just did it.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Big Injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
The man, the myth, the doc. Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine is here every Tuesday with BD. And of course on Thursday here with my man Shep and of course Braylon Edwards. Both Braylon and D-Mac trust him. He's got top tier advice and he keeps his athletes in peak condition. Learn more. Head on over to MichiganSportsandSpine.com or give him a call 248-426-9944.
Did you see the commercial for Buddies just a moment ago?
I know you did.
Did you see how good that pizza looked?
It's fire.
God damn. Really hungry right now. It doesn't. We're all Detroiters here. We're proud of it too. Nobody is as proud of being from this area as Buddies. They created the original Detroit style pizza. All right, they did it back in 1946, and nobody does it better. 20 locations across the great state of Michigan. So there's always a Buddies near you. They reek of Detroit. They've been doing it for 79 years. You can save 10%, up to 10%. Off your entire order using the promo code 10MEAL, the number 10, MEAL. Find the location nearest you, BuddiesPizza.com. You will not go hungry.
Shep, I want to finish up on some basketball and Pistons stuff. When we started Kool-Aid, you had mentioned, actually no, it was you, Shep, that you had mentioned that one of our Detroit Pistons is on a historic pace defensively. I believe, Cam, you got that for the back wall and the Asar Thompson. Okay, so this is courtesy of B-Ball Index. Fantastic basketball analytics. Now, what you're seeing up there is 5 A-plus grades to the right. All right? Perimeter ISO defense, ball screen navigation, off-ball chaser defense, pickpocket rating, and passing lane defense, something that Allen Iverson was quite adept at. Now, since they've been tracking these stats since 2013, that is 6,813 player seasons.
What's your favorite stat there, by the way?
Pickpocket rating, of course.
Ball screen navigation. You know what that is? That's recognizing where the ball screen's coming and your ability to either go over it or under it, basically squash it.
And if you can't get through it, this team is so good at switching. Those 3 perimeter guys between Holland and Asar and Cade, it's a tough perimeter D. Now, again, 6,813 player seasons have been tallied since 2013. He is the only player
in history
since 2013 to be
I like history better.
To be A+ in all 5 categories. And for those of you that say, well, Norman Powell smoked him last night, he only allowed Norman Powell 3 points, 3 turnovers on 20% shooting, and he barely guarded him. Now, you can also point to the night Kawhi Leonard had. However, Kawhi Leonard...
you mean the 55 points, the career high 55
only
points?
18 of those came on Asar. His brother gave up 41 a couple nights later. Now, what we're talking about right now, I want to show you something here.
How many is enough?
How many is it?
How many points, if a guy allows X amount of points, how many is enough?
Everybody can get hot, Shep.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking.
I mean, if
you said, only 17 came against Asar Thompson when Kawhi Leonard was en route to 55. Yeah. That puts it in really good perspective of how good his defense was on him, allowing only 17 of the 55. Yeah. But is allowing 17 points satisfactory in your mind?
If it's
against an elite
if it's
scorer
Luka,
like that,
25 is satisfactory.
Yeah, it's an elite score.
Hold them under their average.
Right, exactly.
The further below it, the better. Now, I'd like to show you something here because, as Kool-Aid pointed out, there is a 65-game minimum to qualify for an award.
By the way, LeBron's ranked 71st in that whole category, where Asar Thompson is ascending his way up here.
I love how they just have LeBron.
Why, I don't understand why they do that. Right, 1.21 ranked 71st.
So I want to show you guys something maybe you should consider putting your money on, and that is Defensive Player of the Year. So you see a glaring omission on there. The alien, Mr. Victor Wembanyama, is no longer there. However, in the top 20...
Why would his odds be a plus 2,000?
Because they don't know yet, Shep. Now, you know who's not even in the top 50 plus 1,000? The Eastern Conference Player of the Month, Isaiah Stewart. All right, so Chet Holmgren, this guy, he's a little thin, little injury prone. If he gets hurt and misses that 65-game threshold, the difference between the Thompson twins, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, and Bam Adebayo, I don't know what the difference is.
Love Bam Adebayo.
And by the end of the season, it could be a crapshoot.
I love Bam Adebayo, but every time someone...
Are you going to say Piston? Are you going to say a Piston should win this?
Well, I think Isaiah Stewart should be in the conversation.
You're going to surprise us all. If you say a Piston should win it, you're going to surprise us all.
He should be in the conversation, but I get a little sick to my stomach every time someone reminds me that Rudy Gobert has 4 Defensive Player of the Year.
He shouldn't have won in 2023.
Because I don't think it's worth it.
He shouldn't have won in 2023
worthy of it.
At all. I think the first 3
Put
were
him
pretty
in the
legit.
conversations. Like, you got Minnesota fans talking about he's done things that Ben Wallace has done.
He should have 3, not 4.
Stop.
Not 4. He won't win another. He won't win another. But I'll tell you, you want to put some real long shot numbers out there
Piston overall.
And get a big return on your money. Beef stew is not a crazy dark horse. But on the other side of Victor Wembanyama and the Joker being gone,
we do know Bam Adebayo has been on 5 all defensive teams, right?
I love Bam.
He's pretty good.
I do.
Yeah.
And I think that if you take away Chet's season, the field after him, they're all pretty equal. Now, let's go on over to Caesars Sportsbook and take a look at somebody else on the Detroit Pistons who is now number 3.
How is Luka Doncic? Okay, whatever.
He's number because so many people bet him, so they have to raise his odds in order to keep the bets clean. He should probably be more around Tyrese Maxey. Now, I do want to ask you guys a question.
Kool-Aid doesn't like Tyrese Maxey.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the week. Who is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference? I think we can all say right now SGA is number 1. Point guard.
That's in the Western Conference.
In the NBA, I'm saying.
Oh.
He's the best point guard in my opinion.
I said this to you last week. I mean, I'd take Cade Cunningham over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay,
right now.
and that's a fun debate, and I would rather
it's a great debate.
I'd rather have Cade in Detroit too because he is Detroit. But
slappies.
Look at Maxey.
Well,
so I want to point out something.
If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played here, Anson would be going, he is Detroit. I don't know what is Detroit means. He wears a Tigers cap. That's great.
He is Canada,
he goes out and he goes around. That's awesome.
He is Canada, which is also Detroit, Shep. So yes, he would be Detroit if he were here as well. But so Brunson, Maxey, Cade Cunningham, I think is a fantastic comparison and debate that we're going to be having for a few years right now. Let's go the numbers real quick. Cade, third in scoring. Maxey, 30.9. Brunson, 29.4. Cade, 26.6. He averages 6.3 rebounds to Maxey's 4.5. Brunson, 3.3. He leads the way in assists at 9.7 to 7.2 for Maxey. Brunson at 6.6. Now, Brunson does have the best turnover to assist ratio. Maxey number 2. Maxey has the most stocks out of the two. He has more steals per game and more blocks per game than Cade Cunningham, which was a bit shocking to me. He's shooting 40% from 3, better than both Cade and Brunson. He's shooting .889 from the stripe, which is better than both Cade and Brunson. And he's shooting .470 from the field, which is right there with the two guys. Now, the difference, I think, in these three right now, which is why I think Maxey should be fourth on this list and very close to Cade. Who the hell does he have on that
nobody.
team? You talked about it.
Yeah.
Now, Joel Embiid
His team is
an
also
enigma.
a few games over 500. I think they're the 5 seed in the
and
East
he's
right
carrying
now.
them. Now,
Yeah.
Paul George is healthy again. Embiid's playing, but he's a skeleton of him, of what he used to be. What are we talking about here? Quentin Grimey? I mean, this guy is carrying a team of Adem Bona and your guy that used to be here, the Yukon center for the Detroit Pistons, Mr. Andre Drummond. They don't have much. And he plays the most minutes in the NBA by nearly 4 minutes.
Sounds like you're making a pretty good case for Tyrese Maxey.
I'm telling you, I took offense to it not because I don't love Cade, but because I really believe Tyrese is him. He is one of the premier young players in the NBA.
He is
I had
all
to break down
Philadelphia.
this stuff here. And honestly, we have 3 tremendous point guards here in the East.
But he just does not get the pub.
Not yet.
He really doesn't. I mean, it's weird for us to say
Cade
that.
last year.
But Cade Cunningham gets a lot of pub. Well, I mean,
And
look,
remember-
he did tie for 7th.
But Philly was supposed to win their division last year, maybe.
Yeah.
And they missed
maybe.
the playoffs. And the Pistons were supposed to be terrible, but they were good. And all of a sudden we looked at Cade. We ignored Maxey. This year, you have to give them both their props.
What I do is I give him, honestly, the nod
didn't
over
think-
All-Stars last year, like Tyler Herro. When you talk about
Yes.
Tyrese Maxey
Yeah.
trying to
Yes.
get in,
Yeah.
that's where I look
100%.
at that. Cade, you talk about the load that he's carrying and who he has on the squad. When you look at
Wait a minute, we just talked about Jalen Duren being an all-star.
Yeah,
We just talked
I'm
about
glad.
a guy who might be the defensive player of the year. Don't start knocking the roster.
Not knocking the roster.
Okay, because
Not knocking the roster.
he's got 2 guys on his team that Tyrese Maxey does not have. And doesn't really have
But
anybody
Tyrese
close
Maxey
to it.
has a whole lot more help than what's being presented right now. You can just look at the teammates he has. You look at what they're averaging, and these guys are actually going out there and doing work too. It's not like
You think
Little
he's
Sisters of the Poor out there. It's not.
No, I don't think so either. Do you think he has better talent around him than Cade Cunningham? And by the way, I didn't say
not even close.
I think that Jalen Duren
Dude,
is a serious.
It's not even
is a
close.
ceiling
Dude,
raiser
it's not-
for
not
that.
even
It's
close.
the
It's
thing
not
that
even
tips
They
it
have
over.
no bench. They have Quentin Grimes,
Yeah,
and
it's-
then maybe Jared.
I mean, you keep saying
know?
names, but if these guys are actually putting up stats, then that matters.
Well, sure. And
And Quentin
VJ
Grimes
had
put up stats.
Yeah, but the
VJ
Pistons are the
Bro, they're
Pistons are putting up
starting
stats too.
They're starting
I'm not saying
Derek
they're not.
Barlow. They're starting Derek Barlow.
If he's hooping, then he's hooping.
He's not hooping. He's
Look
he's
at the
a little
points
bit of
per
a glue
game,
guy.
guys. Do your own research. Look at the points per
All
game
right,
that he's getting.
let's switch this question up and pose it a different way. How would you compare Philadelphia's 13-man roster to the Detroit Pistons' 13-man roster? Do they measure up?
We're saying this right now, but I know what people were saying in the beginning of the season. I know what some people were saying in the beginning of the season before. Just because we see Cade Cunningham raising the ceiling of this team right now people
fired up.
'cause
Derek
I was
Barlow's
hearing
averaging 8.5 points a
hearing
game, dude.
Look at what Kelly Oubre is doing. Look at what Grimes is doing. Look
Oubre
at the
hasn't
other
even
players
playing.
on this
Oubre's been
team.
out for like
Look
a
at what
month.
he's up. He's been out for
He's
a month.
played 12 games.
That's half of the season right now.
No, it's a third, almost maybe a third. It's pretty close to a third.
Yeah, it's close to a third.
Kool-Aid,
I mean,
Kool-Aid. I'm talking about how much better the Pistons are than these other teams. I mean,
You can have Philly's roster. I'll take the Pistons roster if that's the way you're looking
Oh,
at
I
it.
already said Jalen Duren tips this thing in the Pistons' favor.
Oh, but listen, 8 through 13 also tips this thing.
Because what are we
Right?
talking about? Because realistically, it's about young players for young players. Because the Pistons vets this year are not doing what the Pistons vets last year did. That's
They're
a
better.
reality.
They're better.
I don't know. I think that there's a lot more inconsistency.
Javonte Green,
I like Javonte
Duncan,
Green.
LeVert.
Duncan and Karis LeVert are hot and cold. You can look at their stats in a vacuum and say, well, 40% from Duncan, but you're going to get games where it's like, okay, he's hitting
Beasley
60%.
only ran hot.
He's hitting
Beasley only ran hot.
Long stretches where
we
my
still
man was
got
running
Toby.
hot.
I mean, the teams.
It's not the same Toby as last year. These
You know,
are
it's
not
so weird
the
that
same
like
vets
when you're
as
trying
last
to
year.
throw them cool accolades and
surprising.
flowers. No, they're kind of even. But hey, the whole point of this, guys.
He is right about Duncan Robinson.
Yeah,
he's right.
but no.
Duncan Robinson is a little bit of this and
Sure,
that.
but
Tobias Harris has had a decent season.
But the offense flows through Duncan so much better than it did with Beasley. And Fontecchio tried to shoot.
But Duncan's only averaging 11
But
a
listen,
game right now.
Beasley and Fontecchio both tried to shoot themselves into rhythm. All right?
Right.
Duncan and LeVert shoot within the rhythm of the offense. And I think that they're far better.
But you would have to admit, Duncan Robinson has had a lot of down games. He went 1 for 6 against the Clippers for crying out loud.
That's what he is.
Okay.
He's a feast or famine
Would you
shooter,
trade him
not
for
a
Beasley right now?
consistency shooter.
Would you trade this Duncan this year for Beasley last year?
Yes.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I've seen.
I would.
Listen,
I think
it's not just about threes.
that's what this team lacks right now. This team, we're talking about needing a shooter for this team, and that shooter was supposed to be Duncan Robinson. Now, I disagree wholeheartedly with Kool-Aid. He's making it sound like it's Cade Cunningham and the Three Musketeers. When I think they've got a lot of really good talent, I'd take their roster over Philly's every single day of the week.
I'd take the roster over the Knicks, too. And the Knicks are better than Philly, and Brunson has more help than Maxey does. I don't believe that either of those two teams has as much depth and help as the Pistons. Now, you talk about that starting 5 and even 6 of the Knicks, and they're tough. But for 7-game series, we are going to stretch their depth, and that's what I think puts us over the top. Now, I want to finish up
about
basketball.
8 guys. It's about 8 guys.
We got other things to talk about, but I do want to hit this and remind you why this is on the back wall right here. Caesar Sportsbook. You put in WSN, you're getting a $1,000 match if you lose. 40 plus 4,000 on Cade Cunningham, okay? The Lakers will not be in a position for Doncic to be the MVP. With no Joker, no Wemby, this is a 2-man race. And if the NBA wants to give a Canadian an MVP for the second year in a row,
are you kidding
that
me?
might happen.
What difference does it
I'm
make
just telling
where he's
you.
from?
Listen,
So let me get
wait,
this.
hold on, Shep. Let me
No,
finish.
what a Canadian?
Shep, I'm making a point.
No, what do you
This
bring
isn't
up
about you
Canada
being
for?
right.
Bring up Canada. It
Shep,
doesn't
this
matter.
isn't about you being right now.
No,
All right?
it's a ridiculous assumption that's because he's Canadian.
Because there's American.
Holy crap!
Shep, this isn't always about you being right. This is about me pounding something home for our chat, all right? There are human beings voting, and a lot of them are American. And back-to-back MVPs are not a common occurrence in the NBA anymore, even though Joker should have won that 2 years in a row.
Why? He's
Correct?
Serbian.
He should have won it last year.
No, he's Serbian. You don't do that.
There you go.
You're going to leave a Canadian just
Thank
like...
you for
Yeah,
pounding my point home.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say without
Crying
trying
out
to be
loud.
right is you have a negative 430 here, and you have a plus 4,000. You have a $1,000 match using WSN at Caesars. This could happen. If the Pistons end up with the number 1 seed, you're measuring a number 1 seed in the West that did the same thing last year versus a team that everybody cast away, ended up as the 6th seed, and were able to get themselves into the playoffs and do what they did. I think that could be a major winner. And if it isn't, Shep, they get their money back.
I hope Jalen Brunson's in there too because he's American. That's the most important thing for me.
Shep needs to be right some days.
I don't think him being Canadian matters one damn bit. That's all I'm saying. All right? I always root for the American. Always. I don't care who they are. I am always rooting for Team USA, no matter what.
USA.
I'll tell you what. Caesar Sportsbook is not happy with
Are you
him
American,
right now.
Anson?
Just crushed my plug, trying to send some people over, trying to get you some things. But Shep needs to be right about nationalities.
You know what's interesting? Is
crushing my content
Jalen
now,
Brown. Look at what Jalen Brown's at. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah,
Jalen,
but what's going to
I actually
happen
think
is
he
you're going to
deserves a little bit more than Maxey.
you're going to see Jason Tatum come back in March, and that will be enough for the pundits to say, "Oh, well, they're the 3 seed because of Tatum."
Yeah,
which is garbage.
Do you think it'll mess with their chemistry a little bit, man? I've heard some people talk about that as well. I think
the Celtics?
Jason Tatum is all world, and they know how to play
in
with
March
him,
and
but-
April, but then by the playoffs, they'll be just
Well,
fine.
why? Just out of curiosity, why do you think it would mess with their chemistry when he's been on that team for years? I don't
Some
understand.
people believe they have a little bit different flow to how they're going about things right now, and I'll be honest, I kind of like Jalen.
I love Jalen Brown. Do you think? Okay, so Detroit
But
had
it's Tatum. He's
they
all
had chemistry last year.
Ivy and Cade trying to figure out who was the man.
Okay,
and then Ivy got hurt, and
but
Cade
but
really.
Beasley was new. Hardaway was new. Harris was new. How did that affect their chemistry?
No, I think
this year Duncan Robinson's.
I don't think that's what they're talking about, Shep. I think what they're talking about is the fact that
How they
for
play?
the first time in years, the number one option, the leader of that team, every single game is a different guy. And when Jason Tatum comes back, Jaylen Brown's going to be cooking and in his game, and he's going to want to continue to be that. But Jason Tatum's going to come back and be like, well, I'm the man. This is my team. Right. And the team's also going to want to get him up to speed. So there will be.
And then you got Derek White. Yeah, okay,
There will be an issue where, okay, well, who's pushing this? And to be honest with you, back when that happened, when Jordan came back from his gambling and was wearing 45, they should have let.
Wasn't gambling, it was baseball.
It was both. They should well played. They should have let Scotty be the engine in that series. Jordan wasn't in his game because he had been on the shelf for that amount of time to where I felt like he was ready to carry the team. And you're probably going to see that be the thing that holds Boston back.
Would you say if Detroit makes a move at the trade deadline, do you think that's one of the concerns people will have is how it would mess with their chemistry, considering how well they're playing right now and playing who they're playing through?
You called me out on that when my Trey Murphy trade idea, because I do believe that the best thing that this team has going for it, aside from Cade, is the chemistry. The depth, of course, but the chemistry of the way that these guys play, the way that the second unit plays, the way that the second and first and third units can mesh and not miss assignments on defensive switching is tremendous to me. So yes, the chemistry is a major concern.
That'll be a fun thing to follow. It really will. So get out there, and I would 4,000 plus 4,000. You're putting it down on Cade Cunningham.
I'm telling you, man. And I know that I
Honestly,
get your point.
and I don't
on
even bet that
ridiculing
much,
the
but I'd do
Canadian
it.
thing. But I think that there is something to that, and I get why you blast me on that one. But Joker should have won it last year. And they didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
And SGA and Joker, they are outside of the country, and it's great to get guys like them and Giannis an MVP. But there is also, I believe, a backroom incentive to keep American players at the forefront. And Cade, if these guys end up with that number one seed, he's really going to be a hard choice for voters between him and SGA. And that money on Caesar Sportsbook, that's protected, by the way, could end up being real good for him.
The only thing I would say is I don't see voters have done that at all with American players based on what's recently happened and the influx of international
Well, what
players.
do we have, like 4 out of the last 6 MVPs are foreign-born?
Yeah. Right, so
Luka
so
and
that's why I don't think
Giannis
there's
and
anything.
SGA and
I
Joker.
don't think there's anything in the background where people are wondering.
But the other thing, though, is how many times you see back-to-back MVPs. They don't like doing that.
Yeah, and I wonder why that is.
Like I said,
Spread
I do
the love.
think it was awesome to see Cade getting that love at All-Star break. You talk about some of the best moments of 2025. Being at All-Star weekend and seeing him get the love from the media. There were certain scrums that were smaller, some that were bigger. His was one of the bigger scrums that you saw, and people are asking him about that. Hey, what do you feel about being that American-born player, that next MVP? You know, that top 3. Who do you see as the faces? And it was awesome to see that that's something that he wants. He wants that challenge.
And after the Denver game, Russell Westbrook coming over to him and not just dapping him, not just saying hi, covering their mouth and talking
Kawhi
for
too.
3 minutes. And then most recently against KD, KD comes over and they're talking for a while. Cade has an old school respect.
Hey, man, tell Trajan to get us over there.
As the most ethical hooper in the NBA, he has so much vintage love from the superstars. It's so cool to see a guy like that be a Piston.
And before you start thinking about, if Maxey could possibly get in there if his team continues to stumble. I don't recall them being favorites to win the division at all last year. Maybe you're a little bit closer to it. I thought,
they were saying it was between those three teams, but they were for sure a playoff team, and they missed it entirely.
I would remind you, only two players in the history of the NBA have had or ever been on a losing team and won the MVP. Bob Pettit and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I believe that's true, okay?
Not with Milwaukee? Or was he with the Lakers?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I believe, was with Milwaukee. Yeah, okay. Or no, with the Lakers. I believe it was with the Lakers. Before
What, like 79?
I thought it was mid-70s.
Okay.
Like 76, 77, something like that. When we come back, I do want you to hear something that a local Detroit athlete is going to get a chance to do that I think is fantastic. Love the emotion and love that he's going to be repping Detroit on the international stage. We'll get to that when we come back after this from BlackRock and Lady James.
Jeez, man, BlackRock sounds good.
It does, and it's a great way to start your year off. And you can do it with 20% off of your total bill when you mention Woodward Sports. Listen, it's a sizzle above the rest. They got some new menu items, and they got plenty of your old favorites. They got locations in Heartland, Novi, Ken, Ann Arbor, Utica, Davison, and Portage. So yes, there's one near you. Head on over to Black Rock Bar and Grill.
It's early January. Turn over a new leaf, will you? Look good all the time. Do that. How do you do that? It's simple. Go to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Look sharp. Get in here. Sign up. You're in the chair. And on a beautiful day like this, where the sun is shining and there's barely a cloud in the sky, and it's a Friday night, you're going to go out. You're going to enjoy yourself. Do so looking sharp. Go to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It is wicked awesome.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Listen up. This is your last chance, people, to register for the Woodward Sports Wicked Pickle Open, January 9th through the 11th. 3 days of nonstop pickleball. Dog, man, the competition is going to be on one. I can already tell. Men's, women's, mixed, and singles divisions. This is where champions are made. And come out Friday night, 7:30 p.m. The Woodward Sports Celebrity Tournament hits the court. All of your favorite Woodward Sports personalities throwing down, plus local celebs, and it's all broadcast live. Sign up now at pickleballtournaments.com or call Wicked Pickle at 734-331-3451. You see that QR code on the screen. You already know what to do.
And Anson was mentioning, he was just talking about Kate Cunningham and those MVP odds just a few moments ago. So
help him win some money real quick, Cam.
I got you, Kool-Aid. Yeah, what you gotta do? All you gotta do is launch that Caesar Sportsbook app. You can make $1,000 risk-free bet. How and why? Because if you place that $1,000 bet up to $1,000, you get that bet back if you lose. All you gotta do is scan this QR code under the code Woodward1000. First bet doesn't hit, you get that whole bet back up to $1,000. Minimum bet is just $20. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan the QR code on the screen.
Von.
Man, love it. Dylan Larkin, the first one to answer.
Millennials will not pick up the phone, Kool-Aid.
Dylan's a bro.
Him, man. I'm so fired up for him. Here's a guy. We haven't made nearly enough of it. And I think it's because this team hasn't won. All right? He's the captain of a team that has lost and not made the playoffs. All right? I hope that changes this year. Dylan Larkin has played on the international stage in the World Juniors or in the World Championships in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and last year's Four Nations face-off. And now he's an Olympian. He's not the only Red Wing. I mean, Mo Seider's going to play for Team Germany, okay? Lucas Raymond's going to play for Team Sweden, which is great. But I love the fact that they took 14 forwards, and the United States is deep. The United States is really, really deep in this sport. It never used to be. Well, as soon as Sean Baligian and I have talked about this before, when they moved and they incorporated the National Team Development Program and put it in our state, things changed. Things flipped. And the U.S. became a hell of a lot more competitive. So for him to be there, a guy like Jack Hughes who has some Michigan ties, Kyle Connor is from Metro Detroit, and he's an outstanding player for the Winnipeg Jets. I think it's a great time for us to be really proud, again, of some of our athletes representing our country on the largest stage, and it's well-deserved. I would have loved to have seen Alex DeBrincat make it, but perhaps, they feel like they have a certain player like that already. He's a really good offensive scorer. I know Patrick Kane was hoping to get another shot at his third, but some injuries probably precluded him. I love the team. I love the team Bill Guerin has put together. He's the general manager of the Minnesota Wild and Team USA's general manager. But I'm really happy for Dylan Larkin, and he should be really proud because he's done it, and he's done it the right way.
Little known fact, I'm sure Shep, I don't think you know this, but he actually went to the University of Michigan. One of the reasons that Shep probably likes him. Another thing,
Connor Hellebuck is from Michigan too. By the way, I'm sorry,
okay.
I needed to bring him up. All right, because not from the University of Michigan, but he's from the state of Michigan.
Okay. Now the other thing is, if you guys were with us last week.
By the way, it's not just Dylan Larkin either.
I know.
Kyle Connor went to Michigan too. I hate to tell you that.
I'll remember that next week.
Yeah.
Now you threw us some praise last week because all three of us called you back. And I think that you love the fact that Dylan answered the phone because, as you told us last week, you like to talk on the phone. Which,
yes.
Kool-Aid, would you agree this is a generational thing, talking on the phone versus texting? The fact that none of these young guys... I mean, you got to have Guerin in your phone. Well, like, you got to see USA hockey.
No kidding.
You're going to see them. You're like, I'll send them a voicemail.
Hey, dude, especially
Can I call you back later?
You know damn well when the decision's going to be made.
Yeah, come on.
You know when it's going to be announced.
Looking for that call.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. All right, let's get to some... I just wanted to bring that up, so appreciate the indulgence. Let's get to some Super Chats before we're out of here on what was a very fast-moving Friday.
Hey, very, very fast-moving Friday.
We have fun up here.
Hey. Shout-outs for support, and Happy New Year to you all. I'm still sitting here looking at LaBartney's Super Chat like, wow, $20 Super Chat after throwing a $100 Super Chat earlier.
I think he's $140 deep today. He'll probably spend another $60 with the heavies.
He'll get busy with the heavies.
Shout out
to the heavies.
Get busy.
So yeah, shout out. We start with Dante151 who
Legend.
says, Anson is talking about Nardwuar, who interviews rappers. Also, my birthday yesterday was fun and relaxing. Also, and I love this, FTB, FTV, and FTP. I wonder why he saved the package for last.
Oh, the Vikings. That's the V. It took me a second.
Yeah, you go. Oh, no. Anson.
I don't think this is, by the way, I don't think this is breaking news, but we do have the injury report for the Lions. Alex Anzalone is out. Tristan Colon is out. Thomas Harper is out. Aleem McNeil is out. And Penei Sewell is out.
Enzo is out.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
he's got to get a new contract in a new city, bro.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable. Taylor Decker is questionable.
You know what? That
Enzo.
Listen, look at that again. That is the team taking care of a guy that earned a contract extension but isn't getting one here. They gave him some extra money before the season started.
Anzalone, you're
and
saying.
they are not exposing him to injury risk.
Anzalone, you're saying.
Before he goes to get his final contract in another city.
You were gonna
God bless Anzo. We are so thankful that you were here.
I thought you were going to start breaking into Bachman Turner Overdrive, taking care of business. Good stuff, man. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Braylon will be back on Monday. We hope you enjoy the heavyweights at 5 o'clock. Have a great weekend. Thanks for everybody contributing on what was really a fun show to talk.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it, right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.